911, let's go!
These motherfuckers are real. You real?
Oh my fucking god, I swear to god, this thing just fucking looked at me. Oh my fucking...
Okay, so they're standing right there, right? Watch this.
This could be one of the most terrifying toys of all time. This is the Ghostbuster whistle. The concept is for kids to select which ghost they want to conjure, and then they blow into it to summon the spirit. It has no on and off switch, and it just goes off at the most random times. My kids are literally terrified of this toy, and I've had to take the battery out. Good job, Ghostbusters. This is legit scary.
Braylon? Braylon? What's happening with your car?
Top 5 kids' toys that got banned. Moon shoes. They were a type of children's footwear designed to mimic the feeling of walking on the moon. They were essentially spring-loaded shoes with trampoline-like soles that allowed wearers to bounce and jump higher than they could with regular shoes. They were eventually banned due to safety concerns. The shoes had a tendency to cause ankle injuries as wearers could easily lose their balance or twist or sprain their ankle while jumping. Would you wear these shoes? Follow for the next toy.
Wake up, bitch.
Creepy kid toys that got banned not for kids.
Individual triplet dolls move and make noise. They're aimed at kids aged 2 and up. Some say that baby talk sounds like a swear word. We went to see what people around town hear.
Yeah, I thought I heard a cuss word there. Yeah.
Disturbing kids toy that should have been banned.
This is what happens whenever I put her near my daughter's small Cabbage Patch doll. But that's not the weirdest part. There's no batteries. But wait, there's more.
Creepiest toys of all time. A person shared this video on the internet. It's a toy their mom had in the 1950s, and it's terrifying. It's a doll, but the head can swivel to show different facial expressions. Just watch the video.
Reviewing the creepiest children's toys throughout history, part 3. You probably know about Mexican jumping beans from truck stops and gift stores from when you were a kid, but what you might not know is that these were actually not beans at all, but seeds filled with bugs. So basically, there was a species of moth native to Mexico, and they would lay their eggs on top of these quote-unquote beans, and then they would eat their way inside the bean, and then live inside of it as a larva. And the way you were supposed to play with these was to hold them in your hand or put them in the sun, and the heat would make them start to move. That's because too much heat heat was actually lethal to the larva, and so they interpreted your hand as the scorching hot Mexican sun and were desperately trying to get away from you. These worms were basically living inside of a coffin, and every time we found childhood joy in their movement, they were actually just burning alive and just fighting to survive to see another day. And I guess this is kind of like their version of a torture camp, like Guantanamo for moth larvae. Most children obviously had no idea that these were actually alive, because when confronted with a box of exciting objects called Mexican jumping beans, you're not going to read the fine print. But these were definitely alive, and you can imagine their surprise when in about 2 to 3 months, a moth started to emerge from their beloved little bean. Tragically, after all of that suffering, these moths still only live for about 2 to 3 days, which might be for the best, because by the time the moths were ready to come out, most children had grown bored of the toy and put it away in a drawer somewhere. So instead of being free to fly around in the new home they were just born into, they instead were cruelly trapped inside the plastic cage they were sold in at an American truck stop. 5 out of 5 stars.
Disturbing kids' toys that got banned.
Surprise says people are hearing what they want to hear. We'll let you be the judge. What does that say to you? It's not.
Weirdest Kids Toys Ever, Part 40. Now everybody knows who that is. Well, in 1966, they decided to turn him into a water gun. But it had a couple, flaws. Well, first off, his face. Next up was where the water went in. And to top it all off, the trigger. You're telling me nobody at DC saw an issue with this? What the fuck?
And sing this little song. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit. Run, run, run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit. Run, run.
WTF?
That thing still works.
Pulled again.
Dennis would freak out if it...
Hell no.